So pretty. I just want to keep like layering this on. There's something about it. Apparently I am going to keep just layering it on. Alright, so I'm all about a good light coverage, glowy, summery kind of foundation look, but in today's video, I wanted to do the complete opposite of that and do a heat-proof, sweat-proof, full coverage foundation look. I also wanted to make this video because before I went on Accutane, when I had cystic acne for years, I didn't really feel like I had the option of wearing like light coverage, summery kind of makeup. So I would still want to wear full coverage makeup to cover up my acne. So in the summer, I would need something that would wear well on my skin and that would hold up, but it is hard to find a foundation routine that actually lasts, doesn't cake up, doesn't look nasty in heat. So this is what works for me. Keep in mind that everyone's skin is different. We all have different skin types and products sit completely different on different people's skin. I go through the entire steps, every step. So we're going to start with skin prep and then primers, foundation, and how I finish it off. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys and you enjoy it. If you do while you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. My hands are going crazy down here today. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so we are starting off totally barefaced here. I haven't done my skincare or like prep or anything yet because I do feel like the prep when you're preparing for major heat and sweat and everything in the summer is super important. So I am so excited for today's video because it's always the best when you get to partner with brands that you've already been using for a long time and that are like your holy grails. I am so excited to be partnering with Savi for today's video because Savi is like the brand that got me through Accutane. So I've been using them for a couple years now. You guys know I always rave about a few of their products. Their hydrating cleanser is like my holy grail. One of their creams is what got me through all of the dryness on Accutane, and I'm so thankful to be working with them today. So thank you to Savi for sponsoring a portion of today's video. So I did a skincare routine, I don't even know when that was, maybe like 8 months ago or so. And I mentioned how I don't usually wash my face in the morning. I shower at night and then I do all my skincare. And then just to like get off the skincare in the morning, I use the CeraVe Hydrating Micellar water. I'm almost out of this. I need to get another one. But this I really like because it takes off all the skincare. It leaves my skin glowy and I use it only in that way. So I don't use this to like take off makeup. I don't put it over my eyes or anything. I just keep it on my face. I just rub this all over. So my skin type right now is dry, but in the summer, lately it's been more like normal to dry. I still get dry patches, but I'm not as dry as I was like in the winter. I do this every single morning, even if I'm not wearing makeup, because as you can see, it just gives your skin that super pretty, like healthy glow. And that's gross because like I said, I showered last night and cleaned my face and there is still stuff coming off of it. The next step for me, and this is crucial, like you should be doing this every single day, whether it's winter, spring, summer, whatever season it is putting on an SPF. Even if it doesn't look sunny outside, UVA and UVB rays can still come through the clouds. So you can still get burned, and having fair skin growing up, I'm a full testimony there for that. You can get burned through the windows in the car, through your house. Been there, done that. Even if you're tan, wear your SPF, ladies. It is so important for anti-aging and just protecting your skin. So I've been testing this for at least 4 months now. This is the CeraVe Hydrating Sunscreen SPF 30. So this is a 100% mineral sunscreen. It also has ceramides. You have 3 essential ceramides and niacinamide. Something that is in CeraVe products my skin just loves. I've never had one that breaks me out. There are 2 types of sunscreens, mineral and chemical, and chemical sunscreens don't cause that flashback because they're soaking into the skin instead of sitting on top of the skin. Mineral sunscreens you do tend to get a little bit of like that white cast with because of that reason. The thing I love about this is that it layers beautifully underneath makeup. It gives you that glow, and I feel like it's nice and like absorbed into my skin without feeling greasy or oily. So because this one does give you like a little bit of the white, as you'll see, that doesn't really matter when you're applying it underneath makeup, especially like full coverage makeup, because you're gonna be covering it anyways. Also, something I do if I do want to wear this outside to like go on a run or something and I'm not going to be putting makeup over top, you can mix in any kind of like liquid bronzer product with this, like the De-Bronzy drops I talked about in my June Raves and Rejects video from Drunk Elephant. Those I'll just put like a half a pump in with this, and then it just takes away the whiteness of it and just makes it like match your body. It's also fragrance free. Thank the Lord. Oil-free, paraben-free. It's good for sensitive skin. Also eczema it's okay for, so I'm just a big fan. 9 out of 10 times I don't apply a moisturizer in the morning because the SPFs I like to use always are very like moisturizing on their own, and this one is the same way. It feels like almost a moisturizer and SPF in one, where I don't feel like I need to apply any kind of moisturizer over top or underneath. My skin feels totally nice and hydrated and ready for makeup. Okay, so if I know I'm gonna be having a full-on day out in the heat and I need my makeup to really last, I almost always use the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is just, it's so good. If you want a cheaper alternative, you could use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I did like a review comparison video on these two. I'm going to use the Tatcha today, but use whatever you got. I just kind of like swirl it. I think I use more than you're kind of supposed to with this product, but this is just what works for me. So I just glide it on everywhere, and I do bring this underneath my eyes because I feel like it does something with my under eye concealer. It just makes it like blend easier into the foundation. It doesn't look like two separate things. Add a little bit more for my forehead. The Tatcha I don't feel like helps out with my pores at all. It just preps the skin really nice and almost serves as like a glue for the foundation. So if you have big pores in a certain area, like I do around my nose, that you want to kind of fill in, I've been loving this. This is the Dermalogica Hydra Blur Primer. A drugstore alternative that I really like is the Revlon Pore Reducing Primer. I'm going to kind of like pat this in around my nose area, and then I also like to apply it here because I just have a little bit more texture right there on my skin. And this doesn't ball up like layered with stuff, but make sure you press it in to really fill in the pores there. Okay, so now my face is fully prepped. We are ready for foundation. So two foundations that I've been really liking for the heat and that I feel like hold up really well are the CC Matte by IT Cosmetics, and this also has SPF 40 in it, and then the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. Since I've been using this one longer, I'm going to go ahead and use this today. But this one I have been recently trying out, and I do really like this. The shade Fair Light, which is what I have, is too dark. They do make a lighter shade of fair, but if I use this, I've been mixing in something like the drops to lighten it, number 7. So this is in the shade 12N Neutral Fair. This one, it just kind of depends on like my body situation. I feel like I have a little bit of color left over right now from a self tanner, so I might not need to mix this one today. Secret key ingredient here. I did a review on these last summer actually, and I did like a hot tub boat test, and I did like a water and sweat proof test, and one side does hold up better than the other side, and I found that these actually do something. Like they're not, you know, gonna make your makeup totally waterproof or anything, but they do make it last better throughout sweat and just water on your face. So this is the Catrice Prime and Fine Makeup Transforming Drops. So I reviewed this foundation during the last 15 days of foundation, and I've basically been using it ever since in different ways. So I'm gonna use it today with a dry sponge. This is my LA Girl sponge, but it's actually just dry. I've been really liking using it dry instead of damp. Let's see how the shade is with my body today. Oh, this one actually might be light right now. Yeah, okay, definitely have self tanner left over. And the drops, when you mix them in, it doesn't really affect the shade. It does mattify things a little bit more, but it doesn't like lighten it or anything. They're just kind of clear once you mix it in. I also recently tinted my brows, and I am obsessed. I'm gonna do a video on it because I feel like it's pretty life-changing and underrated. I still have self tanner on my ears. Looks a little weird. Okay, I need to mix in a darker shade of this. I'm gonna try a 16N. Let's try a 16N on this side and see how it goes. When you use the Tatcha primer underneath, it can also kind of mattify, so just keep that in mind. Just gonna even out the color on this side. So the Tarte foundation is full coverage. It does tend to kind of like crease throughout the day a little bit, but putting the primers on underneath has been really helping with that. If you're looking for a drugstore option that holds up really well on my skin, the L'Oreal Fresh Wear, amazing. Trying not to like cover the brows here. Love the way that this sits on my skin with those products underneath. You can still see like a little bit of a glow coming through from the hydrating sunscreen. It doesn't look like a cakey matte foundation. So next up, I'm going to pop on some under eye concealer. I've been back in love with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade 15. Also talked about this in my June Rays and Rejects video. I like to let it sit there for maybe like 20 seconds, 30 seconds before I go in and blend it out, just to get, whoa, my throat's going crazy, just to get the best coverage. And as you can see, it's basically the same shade as my face. And that's okay because I can use my under eye powders to kind of make it brighter under there if I want to. Something about the Tatcha primer, bringing it under your eyes, just makes everything look so much better. I don't know why I don't use that under my eyes every single day. I wish I could just leave my concealer like this and it would stay perfect throughout the day, but I cannot. I have to set it. So lately I've been setting using these two. I just mix the Makeup Forever blurring powder with the Maybelline Super Stay powder just to lighten it. I don't love this actual powder, but it has a good nice light color, so I just use it to lighten. I love the like blurred look that Makeup Forever powder gives. It's so pretty. Okay, so then on that same brush, the Tarte brush with the same Makeup Forever powder, I just go in and set just right here. Again, this is going to be one of those steps that, depending on your skin type, is going to be totally different. If you have oily skin, you'll probably want to set your whole face. If you have more normal to dry skin like I do, you can just kind of do targeted powdering if you want, where I only set the places where I'm going to be blending powder products on top just so they blend easier. All right, so I feel like we need a lot of bronzer happening today to match my body right now. So I'm going to use the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. This is the love of my life right now, basically. So I'm going to go to town today with the bronzer. If you're trying to do a full coverage face, I would suggest patting your bronzer on first before you go in and blend like this, because then it doesn't lift up any of the product underneath. Same with your blush. It just gives the prettiest natural tan color without being too much on my skin tone. Definitely bringing this up to the temples today. Again, I don't go in and like use circular motions and blend because that just lifts up the foundation on my skin. If you get any bronzer where you didn't mean to, you can just go back in with your powder brush and kind of top out the edges. And then I do want to add just like a little bit more deepness and depth. That was like a nice overall warmth, but I'm going to go in with the Bareminerals Bronzer in the shade Faux Tan. I have the shade memorized now. This one I'm going to use a smaller brush. This is just a Wet n Wild one. Sculpt it out. There we go. And I'll also take that under my lip a little bit. This just like plumps it up. Some days I have just been wearing bronzer and I've been really feeling it, like no blush. I do want to do blush today because I've been obsessed with this one and I just want to put it on my face like all times of the day, 24/7. This is the Benefit Gold Rush blush, tongue twister. Looks like this. It is very fragranced, so just keep that in mind. That's like the one thing I don't like about it, but the shade and just how it sits on the skin is so pretty. I just want to keep like layering this on. There's something about it. Apparently I am going to keep just layering it on. Has a little bit of a glow. With the tint on my brows, I like don't really have to do a whole lot to them, which is amazing, but I am going to add just a tiny bit of shape in like two little areas, and I feel like I kind of covered it with foundation a little bit on the tail right there. This is the Sigma Brow Pencil in the shade Dark. Okay, I know I use this in pretty much every single video, but it is just magical and everyone needs to buy it. It's the Flower Beauty Highlight Trio. So I'm going to mix these two shades, which is what I normally do. Oh my god. It's so magical. Every time. It just blows my mind. So for eyes, I'm just doing something super basic and neutral because it's not the focus of the look, you know? And I might as well show you guys since we're already here, but I'm just using the CoverGirl 900 primer. Something that I don't think have I talked about this? I don't know, but I've been using it almost every day for just like neutral eye makeup. This is the LA Girl Nudist eyeshadow palette. There's just some really pretty basic matte shades in here. This one is like my perfect shade for a lid color. It's creamy, it's soft, and then I'll usually go in with like a mix of these two in my crease. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I just take it on my finger. It is so buttery soft. So then I'm gonna go in and mix these two. And then before I finish up my eye makeup, I'm going to do my setting spray. So this is super important. No matter what skin type you have, setting spray is life. Certain ones can help your makeup actually stay on longer, but what I usually like setting sprays for are just melting everything together and making your face look like skin. Especially if you're wearing like a matte foundation or you have multiple layers of products happening, setting sprays can really just melt everything together. I feel like I gotta use this one today because I heard this is being discontinued and we just need to have a moment to let you know that if that is true, you need to go buy this. I'm gonna buy like 4 or 5 backup bottles because this is the best setting spray I found for making your makeup actually last. So if you're gonna be outside in heat, sweating, I would say go with this one. This one doesn't give you as dewy of a finish as my Holy Grail Catrice Dewy Glow or like MAC Fix Plus or something. Those are kind of my other go-tos. But if I want my makeup to really stay on, this is what I go for. It smells like feet, be fair warned. This came in PR the other day. I have an actual fan. I always miss my face though. How do I get it actually to blow on my face? There we go. We got a good angle going, folks. So as you can see, we got a little bit glowier. It just helped to like melt everything. My skin doesn't look like I have 10 different layers of primers and SPFs and makeup and powder and everything on, it just looks still like my skin, just with full coverage. So I'm going to use the Olivia number 18 Shorty Lashes by Huda Beauty. So I'm going to pop these on and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is on. I used those lashes, then I put on some Physicians Formula Eye Booster. This is the new waterproof one. For lips, I went a little bit wild with this combo. I started out with the Makeup Forever 02 Flesh, and then I put on this Hourglass gloss. This is in the shade Unreal. It says Unreal Enchant. And then I also layered CYO All Psyched just to kind of like lighten it up a little bit more. So I think that's the rest of the makeup. Did I do anything else? I put on the highlight shade on my inner corner, and I also kind of want to put this on as like a body highlight, just to look all summery and glowy, you know? Ooh, that looks pretty there. So just so you guys can see what this looks like up close, I'm going to pop in a shot right here, and I'll also show you what it looks like in natural lighting, just so you can see the foundation super up close and see how it looks like in natural lighting and on the skin. Okay, here we are in natural lighting. I don't put any filters on any of my videos, whether it's in that lighting or natural lighting, but I just like to do these shots in foundation, like routine related videos, so you can really see super up close what I'm seeing. Full coverage, covers everything, still looks like skin. Love how this sits between my eyebrows. It just looks so smooth and nice. Ooh, that highlight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you try it out, let me know how it goes. This routine just works really well for me, so I'm gonna have all the products linked down below in the description box. I'll also have the CeraVe Hydrating Sunscreen linked down there so you guys can check it out if you want to. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.